Alright, welcome back. We are looking for this week at Go Math 8.3, which covers area models and partial products. And we're going to look at this problem right here. I'm going to do two examples of this problem. We're going to show what partial products are, and then I'm going to relate that to something called area models. And they end up being the same thing, it's just two different ways to do it. So what I've done here is I've color-coded these numbers for 23 times 32. And before we do this, we need to go back over place value for a second. So if you look at the number 23, we have a 2 in the tens place, so this 2 is actually 20. This 3 is in the ones place, so it's just regular 3 ones. This 32, the purple 3 is a tens place, so it's worth 30. And this 2 is in the ones place, so it's only worth 2. So if I actually use partial products for this, and I look at the steps in which I would multiply this regular 2 would be multiplied times regular 3. So we end up with 2 times 3 for this first step right here. Then we would come back to this regular 2, and we would go to this 2 over here. Well, that 2 is actually 20. So the next problem that I would have would be 2, regular 2, times the number 20, because that's a 2 in the tens place. So we would end up with 2 times 20. And then our third step would be going to this purple 3, but that purple 3 is actually a 30. And it would go to this 3 right here, which is a regular 3. So this would end up being 30 times 3. So we would have 30 times 3. And then the final one is a 30, because it's the 3, the purple 3 is in the tens place, and it goes to the red 2 in the tens place. So this was 30 going with 20. So 30 times 20. So partial products means that you are taking pieces of a product. A product is the answer to a multiplication, but you're taking little chunks of it. So in this problem right here, there's actually 4 different multiplication problems. And in my class, we've done this a lot of times, but I'm just going to recap real fast. We start here, 2 to the 3, then we go 2 to this 2 over here. But remember, that's actually 20. Now normally in my class we would say second row add a 0, and that's fine, you can do it that way also, but this is just another way. Then we would come to this 3, which is actually 30, and we would always go back to this 3, which is regular 3, and then this 3 to this 2 right here. So this ends up being 30 to 3 and 30 to 20, and that's where these numbers came from. So if I did that right, we should be able to use mental math for these 4 problems right here. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4 plus a 0, so this is 40. 3 times 3 is 9 with the 0, so that's 90. 3 times 2 is 6 with 2 zeros, so 600. So if I added these things up now, and I come over here and I'm going to do 600 with 90 with 40 with 6. So we get 13,736 is my total answer for this. Alright? And to do area models, okay, we're going to check ourselves by using something called an area model. To me, these are actually more fun than doing it this way. Nobody really does this. Okay, this is just another way of you to understand how it works. Okay, but the area models is something that you might actually like. So to do an area model, you're going to draw a box. Okay, so let me do an arrow. Now we're doing area models. You draw a box. Alright, and then what you do is you take the numbers of the problem. We're doing 23 with 32. Okay, 23 with 32. But we're going to look at this 23 right here. That 23 is actually 20 with 3, and then this 32 down here is 30 with 2. And we're going to cut this into those 4 sections. That's where those 4 numbers came from over here, these 4 little small problems. Same thing, it's just in a box now. So once again, let me recap that. 23 was my first number in my problem, and we wrote it as 20 and 3. My second number was 32, so we wrote it as 30 with 2. Okay? And let me zoom in here. I wrote plus here. You don't have to do that because 20 plus 3 is the 23 and 30 plus 2 is the 32. You don't have to do that. As long as you've got your numbers in here, that's fine. But what you do is multiply these 4 little sections in here. And it's kind of like a multiplication chart. It's wherever they meet together. So if you look at this, you can see where they meet. It's almost like a multiplication chart. So where these two meet right here, 2 times 3 is 6 plus the 2 zeros. So this first one is 600. Now where this one meets is 30 with 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus the 0, so 90. Where these two meet, 2 times 2 is 4 plus the 1 0, so 40. And then 3 times 2, there is no 0, so just 3 times 2 is 6. And let me back up so you can see that I got the same numbers here. So if you look, I had my 600, the 90, the 40, and the 6. And I'm going to tell you just personally, this is a lot better as far as easy to understand and less work. Okay, to me this just makes more sense, and a lot of times you can just end up adding a lot of these things in your brain. Okay, so let me look at the book now. Let's grab the book. Your assignment this week was 8.3 in the book, and we're going to go straight to the yellow page. Okay, and we'll do 2 of these. We'll pick one that's an easy one on the front, and we'll do one that's a harder one on the back. So I'm going to go to page 283. So I'm on page 283. And just look at this top part right here, because this is a perfect example of these area boxes. And all they're asking you to do is fill in these 4 little pieces right here, and then to get your total answer. So you can see where they got these numbers, and see they didn't choose to put the plus signs. I do the plus signs. You don't have to do that though, but you'll look in here and you'll see, okay, 10 with 6, there's where the 16 came from, because that would be 10 plus 6, and then 32 is the 30 plus the 2. So this top number is the 16, and then this side number is the 32. And then all you have to do is just look and see where they meet up. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 zeros, so 300. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 0 is a 180. 1 times 2 is 2, plus the 1 0 is 20. And then the last one, 6 times 2 is 12, and there is no zeros. And then if you need to add these up over here, you can just write it over here. So 300, 120. A lot of times you can combine the 2 small ones to make it easier for yourself. So 20 plus 12 is 32. And I get 2 and 5 and 4. So 400. No, hold on, that can't be right. 300, 180, that's 180, sorry. So 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. So that would be 3, 4, 5, 12. Make sure that's right again. Alright, let me make sure that's right. So we have 300, 180, 32. That's what happens when you don't write big enough. 2, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 4, 5. There we go. 512. So we get the total 512 for number 2. So small little problems inside these boxes, okay? No big deal. Just do your little multiplication facts in your head. Add the zeros to the end if you need to. Let's go look at one on the back. We'll look at number 10. Alright, number 10. And I am on page 284. Alright, Emma bought 16 packages of rolls for a party. there were 12 rolls in each package. After the party, there were 8 rolls left over. How many rolls were eaten? Okay, so before we do any math, you always got to figure out what's going on here. So she bought 16 packages. There's 12 rolls in each package, so we know she had 16 packs. And there was 12 rolls in each pack. So automatically I'm already thinking that we've got 16 times 12. After the party, there were 8 rolls left over. So imagine all these dinner rolls. She bought all these packages of these rolls, and there was 8 of them left over. And we want to know how many were actually eaten. Well, all we need to do here is figure out how many total rolls this girl bought, and then just take 8 away, and then whatever's left over is how many were eaten. So let's do an area model for that one. So we have 16 and 12. So 16 and 12. So 16 is 10 and 6, and 12 is 10 and 2. Make our box. 10 times 10, 100. 10 times 6, 60. 10 times 2, 20. 2 times 6, 12. And now we add. And I think I can do this in my brain, so we're going to see if I can do this in my brain. So 100, easy. 60 and 20, 80. And then 12. So I combined a couple of those, make it a little bit easier. And pretty simple addition here. We have 192 rolls. Okay, so we know there's 192 rolls. Well, look, there is 192 on there, so we know we're probably correct, but that's not the answer because we're going to take some rolls away. So now we need to take the 8 rolls away that she said was still there, and whatever's left is what was eaten. So borrow. This is 4. Drop the 8. Drop the 1. So there were 184 eaten rolls. And we have 184 right here, letter D. Alright, so just recap. Take any of these problems, set them up in the box, do your small 4 little multiplications, add them up, you should be good to go. And these are the 4 partial products that make the entire product. The 192 is my product, and these 4 add up to make my 192. Alright, see you guys later.